Getting your first dog is a major lifestyle shift. Getting a second dog completely rewrites the operating rules of your house. On one hand, there is the undeniable appeal of a multi-dog home, two companions playing in the yard, resting on the same dog bed. But right beneath that idealized picture is the practical reality of managing twice the logistics, twice the mess, and twice the bills. We need to look past the romanticized idea of a big canine family and look closely at the objective trade-offs of time, money, and management to pull this off. A decision tree shows a second dog amplifies your current dynamic. First branch, bringing a puppy to entertain a bored, destructive dog usually yields two destructive dogs. Second branch, introducing a new dog to a calm, stable environment creates a positive, well-adjusted pack. Because a second dog acts as a multiplier, adding one to a flawed environment creates a larger management crisis. But adding one to a structured, balanced home compounds the rewards of having dogs. The most common reason people consider getting another dog is to give their current dog a built-in playmate and constant companionship. The hope is that they will burn off each other's energy in the backyard, reducing boredom and keeping each other company while you are away at work. But that outcome relies entirely on absolute compatibility. A senior dog who wants to sleep 10 hours a day is not going to appreciate a high-drive puppy jumping on their head. When temperaments mismatch, it creates a high-stress environment for both animals. Instead of watching them play happily, you end up acting as a constant referee, stepping in to protect the older or smaller dog from being harassed. There is also a persistent idea that a new dog will naturally absorb the good house manners and potty training routines of your resident dog. This matrix illustrates behavioral contagion. Expected mentorship often yields to the reality of contagion. Dogs mimic negative, high-arousal reactions over disciplined habits. If your first dog barks or pulls aggressively, the new dog will likely join in. One dog's trigger becomes a shared activity. To break that loop, you have to carve out time to train each dog separately. You will need to walk them independently and work on commands and isolation until the new dog understands what is expected of them. A second dog does not replace the need for behavioral training. It introduces a complex pack dynamic that requires significantly more management and structure from you. Beyond behavior, we have to look at the daily logistical footprint and ask how much extra time two dogs actually require. Some basic survival tasks overlap. You can fill 2 food bowls in the time it takes to fill one, and once they are both leash-trained, you can take them on a standard neighborhood walk together. However, high-value time rigidly doubles. Independent bonding, separate vet visits, and one-on-one training sessions are mandatory to prevent the dogs from resource guarding or bonding so closely to each other that they ignore you. Then there is the financial reality of maintaining 2 animals over a 10 to 15-year lifespan. This chart compares lifetime costs. There are 0 economies of scale in dog ownership. Baseline costs rigidly double. You pay for twice the food, double the insurance premiums, 2 grooming appointments, and most importantly, 2 potential emergency vet bills. These are rigid expenses. They create a permanent, inflexible commitment that will directly impact your household's discretionary income for the next decade. So while basic daily chores might overlap enough to save a few minutes, the financial footprint and the demand for high-value individual attention multiply. This requires a permanent reduction in your own personal bandwidth. The decision comes down to mapping these objective trade-offs onto your own household's capabilities. We can use this 4-point checklist to evaluate if your home is currently set up for a second dog. First, your current dog needs to be fully trained, socially stable, and free of severe anxiety or reactivity. Second, you need a dedicated financial buffer capable of handling 2 simultaneous veterinary emergencies without putting your family in debt. Third, your home must have sufficient physical space to separate the dogs entirely. This is crucial during conflicts, illness, or feeding times. And fourth, you need the daily schedule flexibility to train, walk, and socialize the new dog completely independently of your first. If you are seeking a canine babysitter to fix a solo dog that is currently bored, destructive, or highly reactive, you should explicitly avoid getting a second pet. Tight living spaces and restricted budgets quickly turn into pressure cooker environments when a second animal is introduced into the mix. Deciding against a second dog does not mean you lack love for animals. Often, it simply means you recognize your limits. Every pet deserves a thoughtful, structured, and adequately resourced environment where they can thrive. Choosing to remain a one-dog household is often the most responsible decision you can make for your current pet's peace of mind. But if the logistical and financial math works for your situation, bringing the right second dog into your home truly can double the joy.